Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Our today's topic is demand. What's demand? The demand for a commodity is its quantity, which consumers are able and willing to buy at various prices during a given period of time. So, for a commodity to have demand, the consumer must possess willingness to buy it, the ability or means to buy it, and it must be related to per unit of time. That's per day, per week, per month, or per year. So, demand is the function of price of a commodity, price of related goods, income of a consumer, tastes and expectations. Right? Now, before we start with the individual demand schedule and curve and individual demand curve, you must know the difference between demand and desire. You see, in economics, demand has a distinct meaning. Suppose you desire to have a mobile phone, but you do not have enough money to buy it. That this desire will remain just a wishful thinking. It will not be called demand. And if in spite of having enough money, you do not want to spend it on your mobile phone, demand does not emerge. The desire becomes demand only when you are ready to spend money to buy mobile phone. Thus, the demand for a commodity refers to the desire to buy a commodity backed with sufficient purchasing power and willingness to spend. See, now what is the difference between demand and quantity demanded? The demand refers to various quantities of a commodity that the consumer is ready to buy at different possible prices of that commodity, and quantity demanded refers to a specific quantity to be purchased against a specific price of the commodity. Here is the individual demand schedule and individual demand curve. What does this schedule shows us? Individual demand schedule is a table showing different quantities of a commodity that one particular buyer in the market is ready to buy at different possible prices of the commodity at a point of time. See, if you see this table, you can see this is the individual demand schedule. Okay, here is the price of a commodity per kg and quantity demand in kgs, right? See, when the price of a commodity is rupees 6 per kg, the demand is 10 kgs. The demand of a commodity is 10 kgs. When the price decreases, when price decreases from 6 to 5 rupees per kg, the demand also increases. At this time, demand increases from 10 kgs to 20 kg. This means there is inverse relationship between the price of a commodity and quantity demanded. So you see, when the price is now 4 rupees 4 per kg, the quantity demand is 30 kgs. Finally, when the price is rupees 1 per kg, the demand is 80 kgs. This is the individual demand preference. That means at different possible prices, we see the different quantities demanded by a consumer, right? Now, we will show this. I will show you the same with the help of demand curve. Because what is demand curve? Demand curve is simply the graphical representation of a demand schedule. It's simply the graphical representation of a demand schedule, right? The demand schedule is a list of prices. The demand schedule is a list of prices and quantities, and its graphical representation is a demand curve. Now, we have seen in the demand schedule that when price is rupees 6, now I will show you with the help of demand curve. When the price is rupees 6, the demand is 10 kg. When the price decreases to rupees 5 per kg, the demand increases to 20. When the price decreases further, the demand increases further. You see, as soon as price is decreasing, the demand is increasing. You can see in these dots the demand is increasing from 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 60, 60 to 80 kgs. Now, when the price is rupees 1 per kg, the demand is 80 kgs. So, We can see, or we can say in other sense, when the price increases, we can also say as the price increases, the demand decreases. As the price decreases, the demand increases. This is the individual demand curve. Okay. So the individual demand curve focuses our attention on the effect of a fall or rise in the price of one commodity on the consumer behavior. Now, what is market demand schedule and curve? You see, market demand schedule is a table showing different quantities of a commodity that all the buyers in the market are ready to buy at different possible prices of a commodity at a point of time. See, this is the table. This table shows the market demand schedule. In a market, there is not one consumer but many consumers of a commodity. The market demand of a commodity is depicted on a demand schedule. Is depicted on a schedule and a demand curve and a demand curve. See, they show the sum total of various quantities demanded. They show the sum total of various quantities demanded by the individuals at various prices. At various prices, right? Suppose there are three individuals A, B, and C in market who purchase the commodity. Who purchase the commodity. The demand schedule of a commodity is depicted in table 2. It is depicted in table 2. You see in this table, when the price of a commodity is rupees 6, A's demand is it's rupees 6 per kg. A's demand is this time A's demand is 20 kgs and B's demand is A's demand is 10 kg. Sorry, A's demand is 10 kgs and B's demand is 20 kgs and C's demand is 40 kgs. We are drawing this table on the assumption, suppose there are only 3 buyers in the market. Okay, this table is based on the assumption that there are only 3 buyers in the market. Now, A's demand is 10 kgs, B's demand is 20 kgs and C's demand is 40 kgs at price 6. So at price 6, uh, these consumers have different demands. Now, what's the market demand? These are the individual demands. Now, what's the market demand? Market demand is the summation of individual demands. That means at price 6, the market demand is 40 plus 20 plus 10. That's 70 kgs. That's 70 kgs at rupees 6. As price goes down from 6 to 5, from 6 to 5 rupees per kg, the A's demand increases. You see, there is an inverse relationship between the price of a commodity and the demand of a commodity and quantity demanded. See, as the price goes down from 6 to 5, the demand increases from A's demand increases from 10 kgs to 20 kgs. B's demand increases from 20 kgs to 40 kgs. C's demand increases from 40 to 60. Now, at price 5, the total demand is 40 plus 20 plus 60. That's 120 kgs. Market demand at price 5 is 120 kgs. You see, now finally, when the price goes down and reaches rupees 1 per kg, at this we can see this time the demand also increases and the market demand is 360 kg. 360 kg at price when the price is rupees 1 per kg. The market demand is 360 kg of a commodity, right? Now I will show you this market demand with the help of curve, market demand curve. You see in this market demand curve, you can see at price 6, A's demand is 10 kgs, B's demand is 20 kgs. You can see through there because this x-axis shows the quantity demand and y-axis shows the price. Now we have seen here, and C's demand, this is the demand curve of A, this is demand curve of consumer B, this is demand curve of consumer C, and this is the market demand curve, and this is the market demand curve. Now when the price decreases from 6 to 5, A's demand is 20, right, and B's demand is 40, C's demand is 60. What is the market demand at that time? 20 plus 40 plus 6, that's 120. That is 120 market demand. See, as soon as price goes down, the demand increases. This individual demand increases. A's demand increase, B's demand increase, C's demand increase, and market demand also increases. Finally, when the price is rupees 1 per kg, A's demand is 80 kgs at this time, and B's demand is 120 kg, C's demand is 160 kg, and the market demand is summation of individual demands. That means 80 plus 120 plus 60, that's 360. That means market demand is 360. These dots shows us various price quantity combinations. So these dots shows us various price quantity combinations. Like individual demands, market demand also slopes downwards. Slope indicating inverse relationship between price of a commodity and its quantity demanded. So this is the individual demand curve and market demand curve. Now, in the next chapter, I will teach you what is demand function or determinants of demand. Thank you.